Page 239, this review for Unit 18, like we've never had these before. I'm not going to go through everything. I'll give you an idea of what's going on. We've done this before. Number one, they want you to put in the name of the scale. And then they want you to put in the fingering for the right hand and left hand for the scale. Well, the name of the scale should be easy enough to figure out. I mean, generally, they're going to start on step one of the scale. So you know that first one is a D. You just have to figure out, is it a D sharp or a D flat or a D, or is it major, minor, or what? Look at the key signature, you see it's a D flat. So it's probably D flat major. It says major. All of these are major, I guess, so we don't have to worry about major and minor. So it's a D flat major. D flat major has 5 flats. If you remember how to figure it out in the key signature, it's the next to the last flat is the key. And the last flat here is a G flat in the key signature. And the next to the last one is a D flat. Well, that's the name of the key, a D flat major. Better if you just know the scale. On the second one, it starts with a B, but is it a B flat or B sharp or what it is? Yes, it could be a B sharp. And we look at the key signature and we see it's a B flat. B flat major is 2 flats. It's the next to the last flat is a B flat. So it's B flat major, and you put in the fingering for B flat. Now on these, where they start on a block key, I was taught in college to use whatever finger I'm using on that scale, unless I'm using little finger. For instance, on the first one, D flat, the fingering is here. It's a 2-3, and this is 2-3. Okay, so there would be 2 and a 3 here, but in the B flat major, it's this. It's 4th finger on the B flat. So I start with 4th finger. Some teachers don't teach that. They say it's just a starting point. You can use 2nd. As far as I'm concerned, it should be 4th finger. And the left hand is 3rd finger. And 3rd finger at the top. So don't use a different finger for a starting or turning around finger unless it's little finger on the white keys. It's the only exception I can think of right offhand. Give me time, I'll think of more. Let's go to the third one. The major scale, it's an E. It's 3 flats in the key signature. If you look at the key signature, the next to the last flat is an E flat. This is the key of E flat. Then we just have to deal with the fingering. And again, E flat, wherever it is, you don't have to play them down here. Any E flat will do. It's 3rd finger for the right hand. Not 2nd, 3rd. And then for the left hand, you're doing that. 3rd finger on that, not 2nd. Yeah. In the last one, you got 6 flats. Well, next to the last flat is a G. So therefore, it's in the key of G flat major here. Everything's flatted plus the C flat. There's a C flat in it. So it's there. It's G flat. And you're starting here at 2nd. And the left hand, it's here. The top note then is a 4. Yeah. So that would be the finger. I basically gave you number 1. Oops. Number 2, identify the key written. Well, I just went through that with number 1. For the flat keys, it's the next to the last flat. And you can also go down a 4th from the last flat. Because if you check these with the multiple flats in the key signature, the next to the last flat is down a 4th. On the keyboard, take that second one with 4 flats. You have a D flat, and the next to the last is an A flat. It's down a 4th. But it's easier if there's multiple flats, just look at the next to the last one. Well, on the first one, there's only 1 flat. There is no next to the last one. So you go down a 4th from a B flat, go down a 4th, and you get an F. Or you just memorize 1 flat is F major, and you know the scale. The 4 flats I've already given you. It's 4 flats is an A flat. The last flat is given as a D flat in the key signature. You go down a 4. The next to the last flat is an A flat. You do all the flat signatures the same way. Then for the sharps, you take the last sharp given and you go up 1 note. So in 3 sharps, the third one, the last sharp is a G sharp. I just go up one note. It's an A. So that's the key of A major. A major has 3 sharps. Next one is 2 sharps for the sharps. I'm doing the sharps. 2 sharps, well, the last sharp is a C. You go up 1, it's a D. It's D major. And the last one is an F sharp. You go up 1, G major. For the sharps, it's just whatever. Yeah, it's still better, in my opinion, if you just learn the scales. Number 3. Identify the arpeggio given by the name. Same thing we did with the scales, but now it's arpeggios. And I'm guessing we're using only the 1 chord arpeggio, because it could be anything. But I'm guessing it's the 1 chord. If you look at the first one, 6 flats. Well, the name of it is going to be the bottom note. So it's a G flat. G flat is the key. And the fingering they want is that. And for the left hand, I do that here. I use 4. If this is a third, an interval of a third, then I will use 4th finger. Some people teach third finger. I don't. I teach 4th finger. It comes in really handy in music because you're saving those other fingers for other things. So that's the fingering that I use. You use whatever fingering your teacher tells you to use. In the second one with 4 flats, well, it's here. Well, A flat is the key. And then for the fingering, well, I want the thumb on the white key. So it's here. So it's 4. I start with 4. Because that's really the fingering. That's what I teach. And for the left hand, it's 2, 4. That's what I teach in the videos, my the fingering I use. Again, use whatever fingering your teacher tells you to use. The next one, 2 flats, well, that would be B flat major, just 2 flats. And for the fingering, again, 4th finger is going to play the B flat. You're in this position, basically. Here, and this is 3rd finger here. And the last one is 3 flats, is E flat major. Here, again, the thumb's going to play the white key. And the fingering, the position is that. Here for the right hand, so it's 4th finger on the E flats. And for the left hand, it's here. That's the fingering, that's the position for it. And so it's 2nd finger on the E flat. That's how I do it. But again, finger it the way your teacher's telling you to do. People don't agree on the fingering on these things. Can you imagine that? All right. Now, number 4, the last one. Identify the major key, only majors, no minors, by writing the name in the line above it. Then using whole notes, write in the notes, or the notes to the chord. Well, identifying the keys shouldn't be bad. You take the next to the last flat, the key signature, and that's it. So the second one is a B flat, is the next to the last, or the first one given, 2 flats. The first flat is a B flat and an E flat. Well, the B flat is the next to the last flat in the key signature. That's the name of the key. It's a B flat major. Hey. Next one, the last flat shown is a C flat. And the next to the last shown is a G flat. So G flat is the name of the key. So you're taking the next to the last flat, and that's the name of the key. All right. Then the notes. Well, okay, just figure it out. Go back to the first one, the B flat here. So each step in the scale is numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, forget 8. We'll just go to 7. Okay. And they want a 7 diminished. Well, 7 is 1 less than 8. So rather than going up 7, I'm going down 1 because that's easier. So here I'm going here. So now I want a triad built on this note, but it's got to use the notes within the key. So here, except we have an E flat in the key signature, I'm going to go here. And you will notice that that is a minor third, and that is a minor third. Therefore, it is a diminished triad. It happens automatically. You don't have to worry about it diminished or augmented or whatever. Just play the chord, the triad that's in the scale. So that is your 7 diminished in B flat major. And then for the next one, they want a 4 chord. Well, G flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a C flat, D, E flat, and F, G flat. That's 4 chord. And now you think, I'm getting confused on every other note. What? Because you're thinking every other note, really? That's every other note? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? What are you smoking? Remember the notes in the scale. Those are the notes in the scale. So when we're talking every other note, it's the notes in the scale. So it's here. That's C flat. What's the next one? Next one. And that's why I'm talking every other note. That is every other note in the scale because it's here. See, it's every other note. So don't look down here and think every other note on the keyboard. That's gobbledygook. I'll send you to this nut house real quick. You're thinking in the scale. What's the notes in the scale? It's here. Here. Every other note. The third one is E flat, the next to last flat, shown here, and they want a 2 chord, so you just go up here and you're here. It's minor automatically because you have a minor third and a major third. It happens automatically. And then next one is A flat. They want a 5 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just every other note in the scale because it's here. So it's there. It's every other note in the scale. 5 chord in E flat major. A flat major, excuse me. Then the next one is key of D flat major, and they want a 3 chord. Well, 1, 2, 3. Build a chord on that. So I have an F, I have an A flat, and I have a C. That's it. Every other note in the scale. So it's a 3 chord in the key of D flat major. Then a 6 chord in the key of E flat major. A 6 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's every other note in the scale. It's a 6 chord. 18. Now we're back to 2 again. B flat major and 2 chords next one up. Isn't that cool? It's a 2 chord in B flat major. It's a 6 chord in E flat major. Confused yet? It gets better and better. You gotta love it. Then the next one, 4 flats, is, well, it's a key of A flat major. And this is a 7 again. So rather than counting up 7, I'm going to go down 1. And it's every other note in the scale. Here. And the diminished happens all by itself because it's a minor third and a minor third. And then the last one is D flat major because that's the next to the last flat. And they want a 6 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we build it on here. So it's here. D. 6 chord. Just take your time with it. It makes sense eventually if it gives you gray hairs, but otherwise it does fine. Unless your hair falls out. I don't know.